Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sloppy Lab. I'm JT Russell, and with me tonight is Quick Draw 3457.
That's it. That's all you got. All
That's
right. Well, I leave for like 2 weeks, and then JT's like, "Forget this. I'm just gonna go lazy now." All right. I see how it is. Well, I'll have to come back for the season debut in a week and see if you've upped your game for season two.
I'm not burning any of my joke material on interlude episodes. We're
No,
keeping powder dry.
this is not a serious episode for
this
any of you
is
listeners out there.
this is an interlude episode. It is a serious lab kind of gathering notes, and we're very serious about recharging batteries here at the Sloppy Lab.
Yeah, as evidenced by the massive backlog we have now that we said we were going to build, which one of us held up our end of the bargain. I will let the listeners guess who that is.
Well, we have some more some more topics on our backlog than we did a handful of weeks ago, and a
Yeah, thanks
few
thanks to you. I didn't
uh,
add anything. I
one
actually
or two.
I called this out and I was like, man, we didn't add anything to the backlog. And I went to go check it and I was like, oh, JT actually added a bunch of stuff. So one of us is keeping up.
We've got a few good ones there. I'm excited for, and some guests lined up already, some potential guests lined up already. So that should be fun too. But
Yeah.
but
Still open to ideas if anyone sends us some ideas. We did have a few proposals that led into the guests that you have lined up, but always open to fresh ideas.
I'm thinking of maybe doing an AMA episode as well at some point. I think that would be fun. I know Help from Future Self did one not long ago. We were kind of considering doing one for our end of season one and didn't want to overlap too much with them. Um, I also very briefly looked at getting us our own like at Sloppy Lab Work email addresses so we could have like a
Mm.
some like a I don't know an inbox for sloppylabwork.com, and like it's been a while since I've looked at setting up emails for custom domains. It used to be just like, oh, you went to Google and got yourself a, I forget what they called it, not like a Google Workspace. Workspace is what they call it now, but like Google, I forget what they called it. But anyway, there was a free like, hey, you bought a domain, like great, we'll give you a mailbox and Drive and like all this stuff. And now you gotta pay the monies. You gotta pay monies to the man if you want to get the good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a not-for-profit operation over here, so
As a
can't have any of that.
can't have any of that. Well, anyway, so the gold key interlude, the yellow key interlude. This is the ultimate key, as it were. Um, we had
That's
it.
why you forge it first.
We can disagree about the order. Actually, we had a very interesting comment from Crusader today about the order in which you should forge keys, and he said alphabetical is the way to go. And I say if you're only forging one key, it's always alphabetical. I don't
That's true.
know.
Poor Crusader. I wonder though if alphabetical in Polish is different than alphabetical in English.
It might be. It might be. But
I mean, I'm sure it likely is. It's different in many languages, obviously, but I wonder what his intention was with stating that.
that's a good question. We'll have to bring him on and ask him. But I mean, however you do it in whichever order, the right way is to do it in sets of three, certainly.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah,
The only right way to do it is to forge all three of them.
that's right. Hey, welcome, Astron. Welcome in the chat. Good to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Um, yeah. So, our last interlude, before we get back to business as usual, as it were, let's keep it light. What
Yeah.
have you been playing the last couple weeks? What decks have been standing out to you? And maybe we'll crack a woe deck at the end before we play our game and talk about
I
what sort of
think
things we're looking for. Yeah.
yeah, we'll definitely crack a low deck. No teasers. It's going to happen. Stick around for it. Um, yeah. So I think internationally, people have been getting low, which is awesome to see. You see like people popping up in the Discord servers, sharing their uh, decks finally, like in the NKFL server, with a lot of international folks getting them. It's really exciting to see that everyone else is starting to enjoy it now. We've had it for a while, but I think we're still like, at least I am. I'm still kind of struggling to find something that I really like from this set until recently. About I don't remember if it was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago at my LGS. I We had like a group of 4 or 5 of us, and I got first, and so I got a deck, and I opened it and I did what I always do when I open a WoW deck, and the first thing I look for is the token, and I just have instant disappointment because I always get like a senator, or I get like always get defenders. I like defenders. I think they're good, but I just get so many of them that I'm just like, ugh, another defender, another senator. I have so many senators. I'm like, I never get the good ones. Like, where are these good tokens at? And then this deck that I got at my LGS a few weeks ago, opened the trooper, and I've opened a lot of troopers as well. And I immediately opened it, and I was with my friend there. And I looked at it, I was like, man, this deck would be really good if not for the trooper. And it has like Talent Scout, Pull Up Stakes, two epic poems, Abyssal Sight, and Befuddle, like some really good stuff. And I was like, oh well, it's too bad it has a trooper. It's unplayable now. Can't touch it. And I went home that night and scanned it and actually fired it up in TCO and was like, wow, this deck is actually really good. This is Winkler, the Unexpectedly Fancy, which is a very appropriate name because this deck is unexpectedly fancy. Great rush deck. And it's like the first time that I've played a few games with a WoW deck and was like, I can really like relate to this, really enjoy it. I've enjoyed it a lot. It just has major bursts with the double epic poem, like I said. And my favorite part about this is that the trooper actually makes it. And like it's so funny to me because the first thing I said was like, oh well, if this didn't have a trooper, it'd be good. Turns out if it didn't have a trooper, it probably wouldn't be good. So I've had a lot of fun playing this one quite a bit lately. I went 2-1 in the NKFL SAS Cap for WoW last weekend. Just played it a lot in competitive. Won a pretty good number of games with it. The rush is real. It passed our test that I think you came up with the rule for WoW Rush of always checking for key 3 by turn 7.
Hmm.
Um, Passes that test quite a lot. So this has been one for me that it's been unexpectedly fancy, and honestly, like the first time I've really enjoyed one of my own WoW decks.
No, right on. And so cool that the Cinderella story for Troopers too, because this was a token that was almost universally bemoaned as probably the worst of the bunch, as folks
It's
were
still in
gearing.
competition. It's still in competition for that, in my opinion.
It's in competition. I just think there's a lot to be said for a big beefy body on those tokens. I mean,
Yep.
Trooper works well for Winkler. Trooper works well for Winkler. Is it because of the self-exalting? Is it because of the beefy body? Is it
Yeah.
both or yeah?
It's definitely both. The self-exalting, obviously, with the epic poem is huge. It does not have an inspiring oration, which would be pretty clutch if it did. But the epic poems are enough. Like the epic poems with the symposium that's in here, you can have turns where you just guaranteed 6 amber, and then you check, you forge the next turn, and then you play another one, and you get another 6 amber, and you have your next key ready.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so the exalting definitely is a huge bonus. And the big body itself, the thing I love the most about this is that so much of the creature control in this deck does not touch my creatures. It's so much one-sided uh, board wipes because you have the Spartosaurus with the troopers, which will leave them untouched. You have the pull-up stakes, which is largely skewed towards the opponent, and then you have the Pale into Insignificance, which every time I've ever opened that card has come with a 1 or 2 power token, and with a 5 power token, it's a really potent card. Um, so there's just a ton that I've really liked about the creature control package in here. That's just allowed me to kind of build that board and just reap out and not worry about the exalting because I'm making enough amber that I can probably win the race anyway.
I have to say that I wasn't sure how good this deck was going to be when you first showed it to me, and SAS is catching up too. Like this was low 60s,
Yeah,
mid
I was
60s.
able to play it in the WoW event last week for NKFL, like SAS Cap 70, because the current score for this in SAS is like 62 or 63,
Okay.
but it's a 72 now with future SAS if you take that preview.
All right. So let me pop over to a not future SAS window just so I can pull it up. Okay. So current SAS has this at 63. 63 quick draw, and we threw some of my NKFL decks at it, and it was winning games. It was winning games like
Yeah,
convincingly, not just
2 out of 3 against Combi Grief.
yeah. And I wasn't just shrugging off Obsidian Forge keys like they were hot tamales that nobody wanted to eat.
Check out our recent VOD for more information on that one.
Hey, it's it's just too easy if you take these freaky threes. I don't know what to say.
You wanted to keep it fun. I know what you mean.
Keep it fun. Yeah.
Um, but there's a lot to be said for just pure rush, right?
Mm-hmm.
It, there's a lot of pure rush decks from older sets in the low 60s that could steal games against NKFL decks. Um, it's just, I think to me, this was a great reminder to not write off a deck when you see a token, or especially if when you see a SAS score. This one has been a major surprise to me. I've opened probably like 50 or 60, maybe 70 WoD decks by now, and this one I think is probably the strongest one I've opened.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it I wouldn't disagree, and that includes a prospector deck you opened that initially had a big number up over 100. Is that right?
For a while, it was over 100. That has been fixed. It's like a 92, 93 something now, but
Hmm.
I sold that one. It just wasn't. It wasn't for me. Like we talk about affinity. Aurora's written about it before, and like to me, like that's the thing. At first I was kind of like really just super down on WoW, and I was like, I don't like the set. It's a bad set. Obviously, it's powerful. It's just like, there's too much randomness to it. And more and more, I'm just trying to tell myself it's just the affinity, right? Like I just didn't have affinity for like anything that I had found, including that 93 SAS prospector deck. And
Hmm.
I hope it has a great home, and I hope the current owner is very happy with it. It just was not for me.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I mean, it definitely has a different feel. A lot of the decks have a different feel. There's actually an episode idea, topic idea that's been on our backlog. I think since we started, uh, suggested by Kveld, I think, which is kind of like getting down to the difference between decks that you play versus decks that you sit behind. And I think there are a lot of really strong decks, really strong WoW decks out there that you kind of sit behind and they do their thing. And it's like stream of cards and you hope you don't tokenize the right thing. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Um, and I know you like to play decks that you are very much in the driver's seat on, like actively piloting, and can feel I could see it feeling not great if you're gonna have some of that taken away. Maybe.
Yeah. I like to have the agency for sure. I don't like to feel like I draw the cards I win, I don't draw the cards I lose. But I still feel like Winkler, in a way, is like a deck that you can kind of just sit behind as well.
Mm.
But it's for the consistency. Like I've had a few games where the draws are duds, but that happens with every deck, right? And I haven't found it. I mean, I have to play it more. I'm probably like close to 20 games with it now. I haven't felt that there are a lot of like very specific intricacies with this. I've really just felt that it's just a straightforward power deck where you just play your cards, wipe their board, make a bunch of amber, and do it again next turn. But I like to joke that maybe the reason that I like this one so much is because it's a woe deck and it makes the game shorter, so I have less woe to endure, and so that makes it more enjoyable.
Yeah, that's cheery. And welcome to Fudgenator and the Cloggin in the chat. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Well, I don't know if we're actors scabbing here or if we've just switched places. I brought a fun deck as well that I've been enjoying. Two actually. One of them you're gonna like a lot, Quick Draw, and this is Erudite Timebender Crystal. And this one is notable for one card in particular, well, two, I suppose. It's got a whirlpool, so automatically really cool. But
Yep.
to go along with that, we've got a Hymn to Duma. Hymn to Duma and Whirlpool makes for some really fun, really fun games. You're obviously very sad, and this deck does make 17 tokens when one of those do come into play upside down. But I will say too that this is one of the decks that has given me the most appreciation for the outposts. I feel like it goes through the deck quickly enough where I can really rely on drawing that last card in my deck. So it's not like a groan. Oh, I'm never going to see that card this game. I'm happy to put it at the bottom, and I'm actively managing like when I'm drawing that last card. So there's two outposts. There's the Nyan outpost in Mars, and then also the Azure Basin, Outpost, and Unfathomable. So I'm using those very actively, and like happy to have both. Not so much for the effect, but more so for reclaiming my tokenized cards. And like this is the first deck where I felt like I'm really seeing that aspect of them shine. Maybe just because there's not a ton of speed in the deck. It's coming in at a 4.4 efficiency score on decks of Keyforge, but the 17 tokens means I'm really putting out quite a few. And obviously with Researcher as the token, if they do survive, you're getting through your deck that much more quickly as well. But yeah, what a match made in heaven. Him to Duma and Whirlpool is some nonsense.
Yeah, that's a cross house double rare combo. So there's shouldn't be many of these. I have seen a few of them though, but this is a really cool one for sure. You do have some capturing in here as well. Outside of that, I believe Colonel
Mm-hmm.
Mariana does a little bit. The Alms Master does a little bit. Taxing Journey, membership drive with the um, capture pip. Um, it looks like all your efficiency is from the researcher. So it's like a 4.4 despite the -2 from the Maelstrom, it looked like. Um, but yeah, that I can see the researchers really helping you get through the deck, like you said, to ensure that you can redraw what you want with the outpost. Yeah, the outposts are I always wish that I look for Sandhopper, Transporter Platform, or Strange Shell, and the outposts are very difficult because they're just a bit slower. But if you have that like ability to get to the bottom of your deck more frequently, then for sure, I think it makes these a bit more potent. Um, do you ever find yourself like not ever playing Mars, just trying to archive all of it?
I definitely do have games where I build up and have that Mars ready to go should it be necessary. The two generators are great, so I have turns where I do archive mostly in Mars and then just pop out tokens with the generator and kind of keep going that way. If I have researchers reaping them is also fine, but yeah, I don't know that they tend to survive long enough that I can just never car Mars, but I've had 5 6 Mars strong archives before. Um, yeah, people kill those researchers. They're little mini witches, rightly so. Rightly so.
It's a lot of mini witches though. You can't kill them all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Martians make bad allies is in here as well. I'm pretty happy to clean out some of the other ones once we're late in the game, and I'm looking to dig. Um, but yeah, really interesting deck. I don't know if you're scratching the whirlpool itch, quick draw someday, and you want to try this one out, I'd put it on your list.
I do enjoy a lot of your Whirlpool decks. That's a true story. And I was careful earlier to say that Winkler was the first one that I opened that I've enjoyed because I
Mm.
do really enjoy one of your other Whirlpool decks from low.
I've-
And Ensign Trashman. Yeah, it's a very fun deck.
Ensign Trashman's cool, really cool, and so interesting too. We started out on our woe journey being very excited about um, prospectors and berserkers, and I think all of my favorite decks, with the exception of one, feature not neither of those favorite woe decks. So like really cool to see some other tokens shining, and I mean even from the results that we've seen from Voltors and things, it's not been
Yeah.
just prospectors and berserkers. Yeah.
We've seen Scholars. I think people have really like turned the corner on Scholars and really been into those. I think at the top tables we've seen a lot more Scholars than Prospectors at Voltors. And I think people are coming around to the idea that with two legionary trainers, Scholar is probably a lot better than Prospector. That's how I feel, at least.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah, people were sleeping on scholars, agreeing with the chat 100% here. Um, totally. So we were sleeping on scholars. I think we were probably a little bit too quick to put prospector and researcher on a pedestal as well. Um, just having the extra bodies can be great regardless of what it is, often enough. And some of the
I
beefier ones
actually,
even better.
I do have a fun researcher deck with Whirlpool as well. It was a deck I got from someone who was at KFC last year. So
Oh,
it's one of the early edition WoW Whirlpools.
is that the
Um,
double whirlpool?
I can't remember if my researcher. So I got two Whirlpool decks from KFC. One has two Whirlpools, the other one has one. I forget which one has the researcher, but yeah.
Cool.
Uh,
Well, I have one other deck to share too, and this one has been a ton of fun to play. It also doesn't feature one of the big tokens, and this is one actually we got to play not long ago, a match. Uh,
yep.
Sai E Filovekis is the name of the deck, which may or may not be pronounced correctly there. It features a cleric token, and it is probably one of the most soul-crushing decks to play against that I've
I
come
was gonna say
across.
it's right up your alley.
I think I sent a screenshot to the team, and I was like, "Turn 7, my turn 20, not 7. That's ridiculous. Turn 20 something." And my opponent's like, "This is a cool deck, but I have to leave."
Yeah, this is a cool deck, but I have to go watch some paint dry.
Yeah, exactly. It features double heavy subsidies, um, Martyr of the Vault, Offering to Kilagog, and double Sandhopper. So what this deck does is it makes your keys cost 18. It will play a Martyr of the Vault, possibly on an Equidon turn via the Sandhopper, and then use Offering to Kilagog to destroy it, reducing your opponent to 5, right, in the process, and then tucking it underneath the Offering. Now, the cool thing about having the double Sandhopper is on a subsequent turn, that Martyr comes back as a token, then travels back to your hand thanks to the Sandhopper, comes right back down, and then you smash it with either a Grey Rider fight or something of the sort. But it's also got Timothy the Damned, so you can kind of go between Timothy and Martyr to keep them off keys very, very long while they're going up. And eventually you kind of get in range to forge keys yourself, and you've got a pair of Celestial Gorms. So you're like, okay, I finally made it to 17. You're back at 5. I'll use the Celestial Gorms, pick all these heavy subsidies back up, and sit there and forge some keys. But man, it's a beautiful thing.
It's beautiful for one of us. I ran one of my sassy Vaultmaster decks against this, an 87 SAS Brig deck, and I eventually had you give me like I don't know what it was, like 20 some or 30 some amber from a Brig,
Mm-hmm.
and you just mastered it away. It didn't even matter.
Mm-mm. Martyr doesn't care. Martyr don't care.
Yeah, and you can't play the Martyr every turn, but you don't have to when key cost is 18, right? Like
Yeah.
you get them down to 5, they're not getting back up to 18 that turn.
Yeah, so you can't play the Martyr every turn. You can play the Martyr you can play and destroy the Martyr every other turn. But what you can do, which is pretty cool, is you can get both Martyr and Timothy underneath Offering, and at that point you can play down the Timothy while Offering's exhausted to give you tokens, and then next turn the Offering comes back, and you get to play the Martyr if they've handled your Timothy. And so you can kind of get into this every 2 turns out of 3, preventing them to forge, and you've got some other tools in there as well. But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty silly.
Pretty silly.
I remember ST Russell sat down against Julie July in Philadelphia Vault Tour just to play a casual game right before the event started. And ST Russell pulled this out, and I was like, you guys are not finishing this game. You should have played a rush deck if you want to cram a game in before the main event starts. Sure enough, they did not finish. I don't believe they forged more than one key.
If that.
Yeah.
But fun times.
Yeah.
Fun
If you're
times.
into this kind of thing, this is great.
I think this is probably the deck that I've had the most folks. So I've never listed it for sale or anything, but I've had the most folks reach out to me about it. I think just for various pods, some folks about the Equidum pod, some folks for the Sanctum pod, trying to make alliances work. But yeah, can do some silly things. But magical deck.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, cool. Well, I don't know. That's what we've been playing. That's what we've been excited about. I think we want to also get to play a game ourselves. So.
We do. Actually, let me throw a surprise topic at you.
Okay.
Going to KFC this year?
I am indeed.
Yeah.
You? I know you
I
are.
am. I decided I am. At first I had a few people reach out like, hey, you're going to be in Minnesota this year. I was like, oh no, I can't make it. It just could. And I was like, wait a minute, why can't I make it? And I was like, all right, I'm going. Just booked it, and I'll be there. So maybe if we're lucky, the last chance qualifier Friday morning up there for Worlds. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I am keeping my fingers crossed for the Polish National Championships this weekend, and also for their Vault Tour in Florence next weekend. That maybe one of our teammates, one of our Polish teammates gets one or both, or maybe
I was going to say all of them.
all of them. I don't know if Kveld's playing in any, but maybe he'll surprise us and head on over and play. But that would be cool. That'd be cool if they're able to. Um,
Yeah, would be really good. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
it's pretty exciting that they're having KFC with Worlds. Because I was a little bit concerned at first, like, oh well, like if Worlds is so exclusive, why would other people want to go if they're not going to be able to qualify for it? And I think this is a pretty cool idea to incorporate it with celebration. And then also, I wish that the last chance was a bit more guaranteed, and I wish there was a few more seats available. But it sounds like it's going to be if anyone from nationals, any nationals champions, is not able to make it, then those seats will become opened up to the last chance. I kind of wish it was more, and I kind of wish it was guaranteed. Um, I think it's all but guaranteed because I heard from one of my friends, he's Brazilian. He lives in the U.S. One of my locals, and Brazilian Nationals is happening, I think, in a week or two, and it is literally not possible to get a visa that fast to go from Brazil to the U.S.
Mm.
So whoever wins Brazilian Nationals, as I understand it, unless they already have a visa or a U.S. green card or something, literally can't come to Worlds. So it's a huge shame. I wish there was more time for the other countries to plan, but we're seeing a lot of these nationals happen like last weekend and this weekend, and I just hope that a lot of them can make it work.
Yeah, yeah, it's tricky. I think this was gonna be always a tough kind of OP season. Like they had big aspirations to offset. I think they honestly probably delivered a bit more than I thought they were going to be able to. So kind of kudos to them on that, getting that together. I didn't think that we'd have national championships to the extent that we do, even given that a lot of them are happening, probably for a lot of folks who even it's possible or just not practical to get visas together in time, or make
Yeah,
travel plans in time. But I don't know. Maybe there could be a deferral to the subsequent worlds or something like that. If like it would be awesome to say, hey, to the Brazilian players, like we know it can't happen this year, but we'll honor it for the next year or something like that. But
hopefully, yeah,
hopefully, and yeah, with you on a last chance qualifier guarantee being would have been awesome. I don't know. I was looking at plane tickets and like, should I try and be there for playing on Friday or just for the weekend? Um, yeah, I think if there wasn't a possibility for a last chance qualifier, I probably would not have rushed to get there for Friday. Probably.
I almost booked my ticket to arrive Friday afternoon without realizing that the last chance qualifier was Friday morning
Yeah.
until one of you guys said so, and I was like, oh well, I guess I'm flying in Thursday night now.
Yeah. Coming in Thursday night, but because the Vault tour that we were at, they started sealed in the evening. But if they're going to be
Right.
playing an event to a finishing position that's going to hand out a small handful of slots potentially, then it's not going to be 3 rounds of Swiss sort of thing.
I am not upset about a full extra day of Keyforge,
No, not at all. Not at
compared
all.
to just like an afternoon evening thing. The earlier we start, the more Keyforge we play, the better it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Whatever happens, and the and yeah, it's just super pumped that there are. It's a full KFC weekend, and it's not going to be just Worlds. That there's a real reason. I think this is something we said 2 weeks ago. Like, hey, it would be awesome if there was a real hook to get people who are not competing in the main event to show up, just so it can be
Yeah,
a big celebration. And like, lo and
there it
behold,
is.
there it is. There it is.
It's a big hook.
Big hook. So super pumped. Super pumped.
Cool. Well, looking forward to seeing it again.
Yeah. Yes. Likewise, indeed. Likewise, indeed. So we should shift gears, play a game, open some packs.
Crack them open.
Yeah, let's sign off for the audio folks here. This has been the third key of our interlude series. So thanks all for hanging out with us for that. We're going to be starting back up recording next week, and then back in your podcatchers in 2 weeks' time with a fresh season of Bottom of the Beaker. So that should be fun. So not next week. No, yes, next week. Bottom of the Beaker will be filmed live right here, twitch.tv/sloppylabwork. And you can find archives of our past shows and other streams, like today when I refused to forge a key with Obsidian Forge over at youtube.com/sloppylabwork over there. And for the very best content, 57 times distilled and scraped from the bottom of the beaker. Search for that very phrase in your podcatcher of choice, and we'll be there with all 3 keys jangling in our pockets, ready to go with you. All right. Quick draw. Any final words for the folks who are getting off the final interlude audio stop?
Thanks everyone for joining, and stay sloppy.
Stay sloppy. And I have bad news for you, Quick Draw. Really bad news.
You have a prospector?
My deck is overpowered. OP. Oh, wait. It's PO.
It is backwards.
It's backwards.
I really hope that I open a trooper, and I hope that you open a prospector. That's a winning combination for me.
Nice. I am going to stop the Zencaster recording, adjust our layout over here. Yeah, it took us, the chat's got it right. It took us a year to finish our game. Yellow key forged.
That's fair.
All right.
We're going to play this sealed, or you want to just share the list with the viewers?
What do folks think? Anybody have...
Yeah, we'll take votes. I'm open to either.
All right, Crusader. I'm not cheating you. This is one of the sealed, blind they say, blind sealed. Adapt.
Can I give a spoiler on the token? Shall we spoil that much at least?
I think we can reveal tokens and houses. What is this nonsense? No one's said blind.
I'm gonna lose probably. Yeah. Did you get the trooper?
I did not get a trooper, but I've got a skirmisher.
Okay. All right. We both got unfathomable. Yeah. This token's overrated. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if I'm liking this one.
All right.
Let's see how it goes, though.
What's the name? You got to read it out. It'll be...
Oh, yeah. This is... man, the names are so weird, this set. Seanus P. Zonamash Jr. I'll hold that up here in case anyone can see that. I don't know how well you can read that, but actually the viewers can't. You can probably read it. Seanus.
You got to glare extra hard, the Cloggin. Glare extra hard. I've got A. Curie, Neil Volnika, Zikolchastego, Rinku.
Oh, you got a Polish one. Nice pronunciation.
Rusty. Yeah, it's not going to focus. Not going to focus. Okay. Scanning in over here.
Oops. Looks like I tried to scan it and it was not signed in. Did it work? Yes, it did. Not a duplicate deck. I opened 2 duplicate decks today.
Ooh,
right in a row.
A womp womp.
Back to back. It was crazy. I had not opened one before, and 2 of them right in a row.
Also not a duplicate for me. So that's a success. Yeah, I've opened 1 duplicate deck so far. I just reached out to Ghost Galaxy a couple weeks ago. Yeah, Jupiter has the other one, so we were chatting about it. But it's an interesting deck. Really interesting deck.
I am the proud owner of one of, if not the very first duplicate deck discovered.
Yeah, I recall this from you both found each other on like the Sanctimonious Discord.
Yeah.
Both grumbling
I
about
was
somebody else stealing your deck or something.
Yeah, I was complaining like if someone's trying to steal this deck that I have, and they were complaining that someone already has the deck that they just opened, and I was like, well, that person's a jerk, aren't they?
And you were like, yes, yes, I am.
All right, game is up for you on beginner, of course, in honor of Crusader. Password sloppy if anyone wants to watch.
Okay, let me get this. Our doing some exercises with our video. Okay, sweet. Let's see how this goes. AO on beginner. Yeah. Let us see who forges the gold key first. A Curie. Okay, and
All
I
right.
see you. You made Deckless Hidden. Well done. Well
Yeah.
done.
About my first sealed rodeo.
And did you look at your list? Do you know what's in the deck?
Vaguely. I took a look at it. It doesn't look that good, to be quite honest with you. You have nothing to be afraid of.
Limping to the
Um,
first tee already. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's like two rares, and they're both bad. Not
Oof.
even a whirlpool in here. I mean, come on.
Oof.
Ugh, and then I just mulliganed into a 2/2/2. All kinds of bad news here.
Oh, I forgot to tell you the tips for opening decks quick draw. We were gonna.
Oh yeah, I would have opened a good deck if you'd given me that massage technique you talked about earlier.
Did you tickle the packaging?
No, I don't know how to tickle the package.
Oh. I'm gonna save that clip. Oh wow, you couldn't have like played the visible hand or something. That would have been great.
Why would that be great?
It would be great. All right, we're gonna stratusmack that jerk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now my biggest regret right now is I have nothing to fight. So I'm letting Cloggin down because I have nothing to fight, and I'm being very greedy also, super greedy. But love that Volca. Gonna gobble up some prospectors. Nom 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 nom.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Covetous Hema. Subscriber though. Yeah. Oofa doofa. All right. Let's go back into Brobner.
Really bad. I can't even open. This is my second prospector deck in this box, and they're both bad.
Smashing some dudes. I mean, I'm out of things to fight. I have to reap now.
Yep, that's true. This ain't even like that good. I just have to. I have to kill them, otherwise I'm doomed. Just a Mars needs Amber for one, and a couple Mars dudes.
What the heck is this card? I have not seen this card yet.
Uh-oh. Is it an anomaly?
It's not an anomaly. It's a rare. It's a rare. I don't think I've opened a deck with this card in it. Wow.
Uh-oh.
Funny.
Probably a renewed life for your 10 power Volca.
It's funny. I remember I'm like having flashbacks now to folks chatting on the TCO server about how to implement this card, but I've never actually seen it. So it's funny to see.
You sound like a real expert on it.
I am a real expert. My expert opinion was like, I am not implementing that card. That was it. Oh boy. What are we doing? What are we doing here? I think I'm gonna let you have some stuff. Okay. This one's coming down, and let's take a look. Oof. I mean, I think I just take
Told
the
you it's
Maelstrom?
Told you it's bad, right? I mean,
Yeah, I think I just take the Maelstrom anyway. And let you go crazy with the Mars.
yeah. I guess I'll go crazy with Mars then.
I think you
Why not?
should. I think you should.
I mean, they're just gonna all get fought off here in a minute. Yep. This deck is so bad. Wow.
All right, not yet. Not yet. Make some dudes. Nope, nope. Playing this thing first. We're going to retribute one of your harvesters, I guess. Draw a card. I would have maybe put that over there. Interesting. And yeah, here's the card I don't think I've seen before. Friendship?
Mm.
Have you played this card before?
I have. It's probably buggy, if I'm being honest.
Mm.
Um, I have seen it. I don't think it's that good.
Yeah, I don't know that it's a great card. It's got a pip.
Mm.
Wow, I'm glad I said before that I didn't implement this card. When you would say it's probably buggy.
Yeah, what else we got here? All right. Mm,
Get your Resonator, Harvester, Ether Spider. Back
I
into
guess I should.
Mars.
I disconnected. I guess I just go back to Mars. I don't know. Why not, right?
I mean, while the invasion's good. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. A single prospector. Look out.
Single Prospector. Okay. I mean, I think I want Sanctum still. Not getting value out of that, but okay. Smashing that dude. I had enough of that nonsense. Smashing that dude. Getting an amber. We're reaping.
Checking to
Deploying
see
that
if I
one.
have any good cards in here. Nope. Still don't. All right.
Come the recruiters. Cool.
Yep. Is
3
that enough recruiters?
recruiters.
Boy. And you've got armor. It's annoying. Guess I will just reap and
Trading Frenzy. Sweet.
yeah, probably not a good play, but you know, what can you do?
It's fine. All right. Time to fight. Time to fight.
Let's see it.
Into the Brobnar we go. Shattered Throne comes down. I mean, quick draw. You wouldn't be holding out a closed door negotiations on me.
I told you I don't have any good cards in here.
Mm-hmm.
Further to that matter, I've had more 2/2/2s this game than I ever want to see.
Mm-hmm.
All that splash attack over there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Could have set this up better. Yeah, it was sloppy. On brand. On brand. We can leave that one. Some dudes. Some dudes.
All right. Well, let's play the only house that has a playable card right now. Um,
Oof, sounds like kaboom.
no, it's not that good.
Scoop up? Scoop up? Resubscribe. Yeah, we'll give the people what they want. There's enough fighting. I even strategically didn't kill creatures so I could fight more. It was all part of the plan.
Hmm.
Ooh, that's interesting. Brain darts, cool. Ammonia clouds, nice.
Not bad. I think I just read.
Red key. Okay. Oh man. I should.
So, how come Friendship didn't ask me how to divide the damage?
How much damage was it? 3?
Yeah, I feel like that had to have been a bug. I don't even remember who Friendship's neighbors were.
Battlefield Evangelist and Alms Master. It didn't lose any neighbors. It was always between Evangelist and Alms Master. So there's
So it dealt.
no, because
Yeah.
the armor soaked up 1. And I think that happens before the damage gets divided, and then
Oh,
that's divided post armor.
gotcha.
And the divided damage does not care about the armor on
Hmm.
the neighboring creatures. Yeah. I could reap 4. I'm just gonna move some stuff. This one is gonna capture over here. Damage there. Do I want to kill the thing? I suppose. Gives you a prospector. And then we'll tuck it on top. Okay.
All right. Uh, it's bubbles.
Bubbles is cool. Bubbles is cool. I like that guy.
And a couple other creatures.
Cool. All right. Wowza. I think we go Sanctum here. Still seems pretty good. Okay, so I've got a dude on top that I might want. Let's draw it. Yeah. Let's
For
fight
those
into
keeping score at home, I have made 2 prospectors this game.
2 prospectors. That's the way.
I still don't have the cards that I need. There are a few left in deck that would be swell.
Oh, you've been looking, man. I haven't even been looking.
Well, I got to try hard over here. I mean,
Gots to. Interesting. Oof. I feel like I should smash this so left now before it becomes problematic. And the ghost fins probably gotta go. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not a whole lot going on over here.
It might be. It might be longer than 7 hours, Murph. I'm not sure, but no, not coming to Canadian Nationals. Sadly, that would have been a blast too. I think, is JDG going to Canadian Nationals? I forget.
I don't remember. He said he's definitely going to KFC.
Yeah, it might have been a yeah, Sag indeed. Sag indeed. Yeah, I think KFC and probably one other Vault Tour. Ooh, JDG's confirmed coming. Awesome. I wanted to say that he was, but I wasn't sure if he might have changed his mind uh, after getting that World's invite already stamped. Ooh, Dragnet. Nice.
Yeah, not enough. Not enough to even check.
So he's got to be coming. Ooh. All right, I'm not making any tokens this turn, or am I? Think we play these out, maybe? Playing some dudes. Frigorific Rod. Capturing all the ambers. Let's toss this so Flounder right on top. Another damage on the bubbles. Capture there. Some dudes probably should have just reaped out.
Yeah, that's how you win games.
Probably should have just reaped out. I'm just enjoying making this big old board. It's just like, more playmat space, please.
I don't like this. I don't like this situation here.
Uh-oh.
I don't like this call, but I got to do it.
It sounds like mass buyout.
No, I wish. I don't have anything like that. I don't know how many times I got to tell you, man.
Mass buyout, and then
No
close
good
door.
cards.
How do you open low SAS prospector decks, man? Like, what are
I
you
do it
doing?
all the time. I don't understand. They're the most overrated card by Saz, and I can't even get one that's. Well, I mean, the first display I had that one in the early '90s we talked about, but what to do?
Chat's trying to convince you that mass buyout's not good here. I think you just got to
Oh,
play it.
I don't have it. It's a good card in general, but I don't have it.
Belligerent Guard. Discards that. Okay. Quick Draw discards the General Zorha. Okay. Because you want to draw a thing? Interesting.
Yep.
Too
little, too late.
Too little, too late, maybe. All right. I suppose we're going to try to do okay things here. I mean, I'm like really wanting to get this Brick Nasty down and like fight with lots of things. Like the dream of making lots of skirmishers. But okay. Draw a thing. Make an amber. Play this dude. Let's reap and at least make you have to make some fights.
All right. Let's do a genetic blast
Oof.
on. Let's do the Yanthy and bust out the other Mars needs amber.
Oh, nice. I have a lot of your amber sitting over here. A lot of my amber
There's a
too.
lot. There's a lot.
I
Still
mean,
not enough for me to forge.
reap for 6, so boring.
Probably not a good choice either.
Yeah, we can fight something. Smash that duder. Okay. Doing things.
Yeah, pretty sure there's nothing left that could do anything anyway. Is there? I'd rather just like. I don't think that there's enough.
It's the crushing deep, and then maelstrom. I don't know.
Yeah, the second Maelstrom was the last card in the deck.
Oof. There was another
Yeah,
maelstrom coming.
there was. Yes. Someday it was coming. Well, we got 23 amber. Good game.
Good game. GGWP. I told you, man.
Yep.
OP deck. I mean, PO deck.
This one is a 73. Ender Future says.
Oh, let's see what we got here. Pull this guy up.
Not sure why Mars needs amber only counts for one amber control in here. It's got 2 genetic blasts and ammonia clouds.
$72. 10 creatures, or 10 token makers, 21 creatures. Interesting. Yeah.
I'll send you the link to mine. I'll drop it in the chat here, actually.
A lot of dudes. Yeah. Toss it in here.
Yeah, this was the last deck in my latest Winds of Exchange display. Fairly disappointing display. I don't think there was anything that was 80 in there, which is kind of unusual for WoW. Couple middling prospector decks like this one. Couple senators, of course.
Let's see.
Couple rebels. There's one rebel deck that's decent, but it's got like 3 Mars needs amber with rebels, so it's not bad. It's just still somewhat of a fragile deck.
Somewhat fragile. So let's see. The recruiters. 1 token apiece. Three tokens for higher on, or the credit for 3 is generous. I don't know if I'd say it's
very generous.
Wrong. I don't know if I'd say it's wrong, but it feels very generous. Optimistic.
No, I would say that's wrong.
Yeah. I think that's rounding up at least. At least. Oh.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't see how you could get 3 out of those.
If you get it early enough in the game where you're going to call Equidon at least 2 more times. I mean, you typically call a house, 4 or 5 times max in a game.
So
often
the way that the scores are made, though, is you have to assume that a game is 10 turns and that you get it halfway through the game is basically how these are scored. So if you assume that you have a 10-turn game and you get higher on halfway through, there's no way you're playing it 3 times.
No.
Unless I don't know if it's taking into account the fact that there are 8 Equidon creatures plus an Equidon token, so maybe it thinks you're reaping, and just calling that house as your main house. Um, I don't really see that happening.
I think it's pretty common just to see a 3 for Hieron. Like, oh, let me see some of my other decks. But yeah, I think 10 to 12 turns is longish for a competitive game. Um, it's rare you're calling a house more than 4 or 5 times max, even if it's your main house. And I mean, you're not archiving Hieron on turns 1 or 2, maybe
Right.
like that often, right? Uh,
Yeah.
Interesting. Let me see some of my other WoW decks that have Hieron, because I think it tends to be. It
Yeah.
tends to be.
I agree with Fudgenator. Clone Home is the only one where you want to keep playing it, especially if you have a Mars token. It just is so easy to keep playing it, keep archiving it, and just keep using your board. It does feel much easier with that card compared to the other ones.
Yeah, I don't see any instances of Hieron that come in less than 3. So it's not like a main house sort of a thing. Um, mm, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
But I do like about Acuria that there's what a healthy number of actual creatures, beefy ones too, in the token house. So you don't feel bad about that being your main house.
Yeah. And the brick there is very good.
The break there is really good with Skirmisher. Yeah.
You got some good enhancements there.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Interesting one. Super cool. Super cool. Oh, I hope Crusader doesn't mind. I claimed this one. So we'll see.
You're just stealing Crusaders decks now, but he doesn't watch, so he's never gonna know.
Never gonna know. No, we split some Polish decks. So this is going to count among the ones that from my pool. But cool one. Interesting. I don't have tons of skirmishers. Yeah.
I don't know if I have a skirmisher. I wish there was a way to analyze your woe and instantly see your breakdown of tokens.
Seeing breakdown of tokens would be nice. I don't even think on the export it'll tell you what the token is, because I was like, oh, maybe I'll
Mm.
export it and just do it in Excel, like as you do. But I don't think it's included in the info there.
And you can't even do a Control F on the page because it's not written in the like I have like all my woe decks open on DOK right now, and you can do a Control F to find like specific cards, but not the tokens.
All right, let's see. We're gonna figure this out real quick. Do we have a
I do have a skirmisher though.
image?
I don't have any Blorbs. Never open.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Image alt is trader, huh?
Yeah. I have a lot of fish now. I've been enjoying fish.
Well, won't do it right there, but yeah, we could script it, but not worth the time in the moment. Fish, I actually am pretty keen on. I don't really have any great fish decks, but I think Unfathomable is an awesome supporting house. It could be a great main house if it just had like some bodies or a token that you can go back and reap with often. Um, like there was a comment, I think it was from Murph in the chat, that that Equidon's often not a great main house. You had a lot of creatures in Equidon in
I
that deck
did.
we just looked at
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
And none of them survived.
None of them survived. I mean, I did have a big board presence.
You did. Yeah.
So I don't know, and maybe that was a case of Equidon trying to not be what it's good at. I don't know. About trade-offs. It sure is. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I wish I could see the. I wish I could see the token distribution. And I also wish I could see the uh, creature distribution. Like I find myself wanting to with this set more so than a lot of the others. Being like I really want to see uh, where there are decks that have X creatures in the house, X number of creatures or more in the house where where the token is set, right? So things like that, or where there's a lopsided distribution of creatures that has a really pronounced main house, and that's one that's tough to do on large numbers of decks or to set up like a filter
Right.
on alert on
Yeah.
DOK. Yeah.
If you're looking at a single deck, though, you have that script that one of the NKFL members wrote. You can click on the creature and it'll show you the breakdown.
Right, right. So one at a time is you can do, but I'd love to set up some like DOK alerts and be like, yeah, let me know when there's the 7 creature, I don't know, Brobnar house with whatever.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
With Brick Nasty.
with Brick Nasty or something, and a skirmisher or berserker. Yeah. Um, Strange exchanges to further that theme. Ooh, that is could have been a lucrative title. I don't know if you get the trade off just there.
I'm wondering if they maybe did not call it that due to potential weird abbreviations of the set name.
S. The sex set.
I think they would rather go with Windex.
Windex than SX. Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe looking for the what dis indeed. Yeah. Cool. Well,
All right. Well,
good game.
yeah, good game. I shall get my revenge next week. Season 2 is going to be a new start,
Clean slate.
clean slate. We'll see how it goes.
As the kids say, we will see how that goes.
Is that what the kids say?
I don't know. We have to ask the kids. Yep.
All right. You ask your kids. Get back to me next week.
Where's Crusader when we need him?
That kid. I know. For real.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah.
That was the Yellow Key Interlude game. And Season 2's next week. So tune in.
Tune in. Thanks, y'all. See you around the lab. Bye.
See you guys.